Hi, everybody, and welcome back for the second hour of tonight's 3-hour RWL Sweet Revenge, hotter than July Supercard. Well, if you were around for R1, you ain't seen nothing yet. Coming up in this next R block, 4 big matches, and 3 of them with championship implications. So kick back, re-up on the snacks, and let us do the rest.
Oh yeah, 3 title matches and a 6-man tag match means a crowded card. So let's get things going with the next match. The Yankee Rose Miss Georgia Washington, invoking a rematch clause in her contract, set to again challenge Angie Angel Guns for the RWL Women's International Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next match, one fall with a 15-minute time limit, is for the RWL Women's International Championship.
Georgia's been catching all kinds of breaks and all kinds of championship opportunities.
Ain't it the truth?
She dropped her match against Jeannie Parker for the women's world title, but now she's got her sights on Angie Angel Guns and the women's international, and despite it being maybe a little annoying, there's nothing underhanded or sneaky about her doing it. That rematch clause in the match contract was her insurance policy for another bite at the apple. Well now, she's all out of options, so it's either win the belt or sit down for about 3 months before she could even think of another shot, and that would be if she wins most if not all of her future matchups. She may be a nuisance to her opponents, but she's far from stupid.
I'll give it that much. And despite Georgia Washington's svelte figure, she has got what you might call a plus-size ego.
And boy howdy, has that ego ballooned to epic proportions since Kurt Angle cut her loose as his valet. You might think she would have been taken down a peg or two by that, but oh hell's bells no, she's only gotten worse, and those many title chances you mentioned, Christy, are a big part of that. Georgia sees herself as not only a key player in our world, but firmly, and I mean firmly, believes she is gonna be at the very top someday as women's world champion at some point in the future. And would you look at this? Very demanding, very obnoxious, to the point of having our ring officials doubling as her personal valets. She may be talented, but she's also epic level distasteful.
Epic level distasteful. I like the sound of that.
Meanwhile, here's the real women's international champ, riding quite high since taking the women's international title from Jody Voruk, the daughter of Mr. Ringside Eddie Guns and niece of El Jefe Ray Guns, the captain of the ladies tag trio, Next Gen, along with Rosita and Sophie Spartan. We haven't seen a lot of Next Gen in action lately, but Angie assured me she and her partners will be back in action together very soon, with their eye on the ladies tag trio titles, now held by Les Femmes Fatales.
And like her dad and her uncle in the Guns family dynasty, Angie Angel Guns, full of grit and determination. Well, this is going to be Georgia Washington's last shot, so she's going to have to make it count.
Introducing first the challenger from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She is the Yankee Rose Miss Georgia Washington. And her opponent from New York City, she is the WL Women's International Champion, Angie Angel Guns.
Well, with only one rematch clause in her contract, it's win now or forever hold your peace for Georgia Washington. Referee Anthony Corallo sounds the bell. Georgia charges, catches a knee in the head from Angie. Angie, Angel Guns, rounds her up. Oh, look at this. Oh, Angie is driving her face first into the canvas. Angie, Angel Guns, Countered by Georgia Washington, a swing and a miss. A hard right from Angie. Angie Angel Guns has her by the throat, has her up. Whoa! Tried for the choke slam, but countered into an arm drag by Georgia Washington. The Yankee rolls. Rounds up Angie Angel Guns. Up and over the shoulders into the fireman's carry, but whoa, wait a minute now. Oh, that was foul. Angie Angel Guns on the canvas and finding herself in trouble. Georgia Washington begins to press the attack. Angie shoves her away, both boots, stands right up, rebounds off the middle rope, a flying punch. Takes down the Yankee rolls. Georgia Washington catches a basement drop kick to the back. As Angie makes her way quickly to the top turnbuckle in the far corner, and here we go, elbow across the chest for Georgia Washington. Here's a cover, one, but barely just a one. Georgia Washington still up, rolls up to her standing position, blocks up Angie Angel Guns, whips her over the top rope out onto the floor, and the Yankee rolls. Feeling like she's done something major, here comes Angie Angel Guns, rebound off the ropes, another flying punch to make her pay for that. Georgia Washington gathered up, hard right hand from Angie Angel Guns, a stomp to the midsection. Angie slams her, gets slammed face down to the canvas. Georgia Washington trying to turn things around here as she begins to go to work on a down to Angie Angel Guns. Here's a head scissors and a couple of knocks on the head. Georgia Washington rounds up Angie. Angie counters into a jawbreaker. Angie catches a right from Georgia. They lock up. Angie winds her up, goes behind. Back suplex. Angie Angel Guns, the women's international champion, rounds up Georgia again, and here it is again, another one of those beautiful underhook slams, face first into the mat. Georgia Washington scrambles into the corner, catches a boot to the chest, catches another, and now a couple of boots to the face. And Angie Angel Guns has turned things around again, and here's another cover. One. Just one. Angie Angel Guns quickly back up to a standing position. Oh! Drove an elbow right in there, and whoa, did it again. Georgia Washington. Whoa! Angie Angel Guns over the top rope, crashes and burns on the high-risk maneuver. Georgia, likewise. Oh, that did not work out for either one of them. And now we're on the outside with the referee counting. Georgia tried for the drop toe hold, didn't get it, nails Angie with the right hand. Drives her into the barricade. Angie quickly evades a clothesline, takes Georgia Washington down to the floor. Angie drives Georgia Washington head first into the ring post. I don't know the words or I'd sing it for text. Hard right, another, a third. Georgia Washington driven into the barricade by Angie Angel Guns, who wisely returns to the ring. And oh, she is fired up. Angie Angel Guns, determined to hang on to the Women's International Championship. And Georgia Washington, still on the outside, still hooked to that barricade. Angie nails her with a left, follows it up with a right, winds up into the barricade on her own, quickly evades the driving knee of Georgia Washington. They lock up again. Georgia once more driven into the barricade. Angie drives her into the barricade one more time. Georgia Washington catches a double axe handle to the back. Angie Angel Guns rounds her up again. Drives her into the apron. Pitches her towards the opposing barricades. Angie Angel Guns goes behind. Whoa! A rising knee right to the head of the Yankee Rose. Georgia Washington catching all kinds of hell on the outside. There's a backbreaker from Angie. Georgia quickly back up to a standing position, misses with her move again, and Angie Angel Guns just driving those elbows into the chest of Georgia Washington. Georgia rounded up again, a headlock punch from Angie Angel Guns, followed up with a double axe handle. And the referee continues to count. Angie drives the knee of Georgia Washington into the floor, and she certainly felt that one. Angie with another headlock punch makes her way back inside the ring. Georgia Washington reeling As Angie breaks the count, goes back out again, follows it up with a clothesline to the back of the head. Georgia back on her feet. A driving knee from Angie. And Georgia is down again. Another double axe handle to the back. Angie Angel Guns. Quickly countered by Georgia Washington. As these two start trading shots on the outside, with the referee continuing to count. Angie gets a hold of the tights, has her all the way up for a long, stalling vertical suplex. An extreme display of power. Boom! Down goes the Yankee rope. Georgia Washington gathered up to a standing position again by Angie. Driven into the barricade big time. Angie makes her way back inside the ring. Is she going to break the count again? She most certainly is. Georgia charges, doesn't connect. Angie Angel Guns gets a hold of her. Oh, another headlock punch right to the face of Georgia Washington. She goes behind. Oh! An underhook German suplex. Angie Angel Guns rounds up Georgia. Here's a kick to the midsection, trying for the DDT, but Georgia counters with shots to the midsection. Angie counters with a kick. Angie Angel Guns has her by the throat, tries for the chokeslam again, but gets countered into an arm drag by Georgia Washington. Georgia pitches Angie towards the ring steps, but doesn't quite get there. Georgia Washington back inside the ring, now talking trash to Angie Angel Guns from a distance. Breaks the count, rolls out again. Angie Angel, whoa! What a jumping neck breaker from Angie. Angie gets a hold of Georgia Washington, gets her back inside. Angie Angel Guns quickly makes her way to the top turnbuckle, dives for the elbow, but no. Georgia Washington rolling out of the way just in time. Now Georgia with a snap suplex on Angie. Angie counters with a shot to the midsection. They lock up. Kick to the midsection this time. Winds it up, another jumping neck breaker from Angie Angel Guns. Georgia Washington gathered up again. A kick to the gut, and oh, here we go. The flatliner. Angie using just about everything she had to nail Georgia with that flatliner. Covers and hooks the leg. 1, 2. Would have thought that would have been about it, but no, somehow, some way, Georgia Washington finds her way out of a pinning predicament. Angie swings and misses. Georgia swings and misses. Both ladies swing and miss. From behind, a counter elbow from Angie. They lock up again. Escorted towards the ropes goes Georgia Washington. Angie Angel Guns whips her to the ropes. Misses with the grapple. Tries it again. Whips Georgia to the far corner. Follows it up with a running clothesline. Down goes the Yankee Rolls again. Angie Angel Guns drives the knee right into the head of Georgia Washington. Angie, of course, very, very tired of dealing with the Yankee Rose, Georgia Washington, and she wants this over. A heel hook stretch from Angie Angel Guns. Georgia Washington favoring the knee here. And here comes some more punishment to the legs as Angie Angel Guns locks it in. A leg grapevine. Referee checking things out here. Georgia Washington flailing. And Angie Angel Guns refusing to relinquish the hold. Georgia Washington forces her way out finally. Tags Angie with a right. Disengages her. Kick to the midsection from Angie. Georgia puts on the brakes, delivers an elbow to the leg. Angie whipped to the ropes. Georgia Washington ducks under, makes the leapfrog, and whoa, look at this. Whoa, a nasty neckbreaker. Georgia whips Angie towards the far corner, nails her with an elbow. Down goes Angie Angel Guns. The Women's International Champion back in trouble again as Georgia Washington starts trash talking her. Georgia Washington really starting to lose it here. A dragon screw as Georgia Washington snaps the leg of Angie Angel Guns. And she's going to try and use that figure 8 leg lock if she can to win this match. But right now, up on the top turnbuckle as Angie makes her way to a standing position. Georgia changes her mind, charges, there's a clothesline, follows it up with a second one. Swing and a miss from Angie. A rebound off the ropes and a third clothesline from Georgia Washington. Here's a cover. 1, 2. But barely just a 2. Angie Angel Guns kicking out at just about 2. Georgia Washington catches a kick to the midsection from Angie Angel Guns. A rebound off the ropes. Another flying punch, and down goes Georgia Washington again. Angie quickly all the way up to the top turnbuckle. Man, she was fast. Georgia stands herself up. Diving shoulder takes Georgia down again. Angie Angel Guns measures the distance, drives the knee right into the head of the Yankee Rolls. Angie Angel Guns one more time with those really aggressive driving elbows to the chest of Georgia Washington. She rolls to the outside looking for a break. She ain't going to get one. Angie Angel Guns to the outside with her, rounds her up, delivers a series of shots, winds up the arm from behind, and suplexes Georgia Washington on the floor. And once again, the referee continuing the count, urging the ladies to get back inside the ring. Georgia with a jawbreaker, misses with the charge big time. Angie with a running kick to the face of the Yankee Rope. Georgia Washington catches another driving knee from the Women's International Champion. Angie winds her up, drives the knee into the head again. Angie Angel Guns getting just as aggressive as Georgia Washington has been throughout this entire match. Georgia Washington rolled back inside the ring. Angie Angel Guns smelling blood in the water here. Georgia stands up. There it is one more time. She's setting it up. There's the kick, and there's the flatliner. And Angie Angel Guns has got to be spent at this point. Georgia Washington being dragged towards center ring. Angie Angel Guns covers and hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3, and you can chalk this one up. Angie Angel Guns retains the Women's International Championship over Georgia Washington.
The time of the fall, 13 minutes, 7 seconds, your winner, and still Women's International Champion, Angie Angel Guns.
Looks like Georgia's gonna have to drink a great big bottle of sit down and shut up. Yeah, she fought hard like I expected her to, but Angie wasn't gonna let her walk out of Phoenix with that belt tonight. Angie Angel Guns fought her heart out in this one, and by the end, you could see how tired she was. That last flatliner to Georgia took just about everything she had left. Big celebration tonight at Casa Guns for sure, as she not only wins and retains the title, but Georgia Washington is out of her hair for the rest of the summer.
Indeed, Angie Angel Guns with a big-time win. We'll be right back with more Hotter Than July right after this. DDT starts going to work on SP1 again. Lines him up. There's a neckbreaker drop on the outside. Galaxy with the kendo stick again, but quickly disarmed. Tony Dangerous nails him with the dangerous measures. Here's a cover and a hook with both legs. 1, 2, 3, and well now, Tony Dangerous picking up a win in this three-way matchup.
And with that win in the three-way, securely tucked behind his cape, tonight the lightning-fast Tony Dangerous gets another chance to beat the prototype Gary Galaxy, this time for the RWL Cruiserweight title.
Well, right up next, ladies and gentlemen, this match, one fall with a 15-minute time limit, is for the RWL Cruiserweight Championship. challenger from Statinopolis, weighing 196 pounds, he is the lightning fast Tony Dangerous. And his opponent, accompanied by Sylvia Strong from Chesapeake, Virginia, weighing 189 pounds, the RWL Cruiserweight Champion, the prototype Gary Galaxy.
Alright, so now let's see if lightning can strike twice within a 48-hour period. A great question, Myron. Let's see how it all shakes out. As Walt Rothburn rings the bell, the men come center ring. They lock up collar and elbow. Gary Galaxy, whip to the far corner. Tony Dangerous rounds him up, counter whips him to the opposing corner, and whoa, a beautiful drop kick takes Galaxy down to the canvas. Tony follows it up with a kick to the back. Gary quickly back up on his feet, and whoa, what an axe kick. Down goes Tony. Excellently executed moonsault. These two are going to be fast and furious in this matchup. A wrist clutch knee to the face. And here's a quick cover. 1, 2, on near fall with a mere 32 seconds on the clock. Gary Galaxy to the top corner again. Boom! An elbow drop right across the back of Tony Dangerous. Followed up with a stomp to the shoulder. Tony quickly back up on his feet, locks up. But Gary, with the upper hand, has him up in the fireman's carry. Discus punch takes Tony down to the canvas. Another rebound off the rope moonsault from Gary Galaxy. The prototype really starting to open up here. A third moonsault. Again, the Cruiserweight Championship on the line. And a lot of this, I'm sure, is retaliation from Gary Galaxy for Tony Dangerous beating him in the three-way at Snarl the other night. A knee right to the skull of Tony Dangerous. Again, Gary Galaxy tries for that moonsault, but not this time. And Tony says, look what I can do. Counters him with the same moonsault. Says, I liked it so much, I'll do it again. Tony Dangerous trying to get the momentum back here. Slams Gary Galaxy head first into the canvas. Follows it up with a stomp to the midsection and a kick to the chest. Dangerous all the way up on the top turnbuckle in the far corner, and knees to the midsection from Gary Galaxy. Just a step too fast for the lightning fast one. Gary Galaxy drives a knee into the chest of Tony Dangerous. Gathers him up. A series of wrist clutch stomps to the chest from the prototype. Gary Galaxy unloads with left hands and a stomp to the midsection. Tony Dangerous starting to lose momentum and control of this match already. A vicious wrist clutch kick to the face from Gary Galaxy as the prototype slows down the pace just a little bit, stretching and torturing both arms, following it up with double knees to the back of the lightning fast one as Sylvia Strong looks on. Very, very proud of the Cruiserweight Champion is Sylvia Strong. A kick to the face again, and once more. Perhaps Gary Galaxy slowing down the pace here on purpose. Perhaps trying to expend as little energy as possible, driving knees into the back of Tony Dangerous again. Follows up with a stomp to the midsection. Tony Dangerous quickly countering Gary Galaxy. Look at this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That one did not go according to plan. A kick right to the face. Galaxy once more misses with the moonsault as Tony Dangerous catches a running kick to the face from the prototype. Gary Galaxy locks up Tony Dangerous. Hard whip to the far corner. Tony quickly finding his way out of the corner. But Gary Galaxy takes him down, and now a series of mounted punches from the prototype. The Cruiserweight Champion firmly in control of Tony Dangerous at this point in the matchup. Perhaps it's quite possible that Tony Dangerous expended much of his energy in that triple threat match between himself, Gary Galaxy, and Scotty Priest at Snarl the other night. Gary Galaxy rounds Tony up over the shoulders. This is not... practically hung him off the bottom rope. the prototype, with Tony Dangerous face down on the canvas, drags him towards center ring. Galaxy rolls him over, covers, and hooks the leg. 1, 2. Oh, so close yet so far. Galaxy calling Walt Rothburn on his count. Galaxy catches a knee from Tony Dangerous. Tony rebounds on a moonsault again that doesn't man. Oh, but Galaxy's does. Gary takes himself to the top turnbuckle again. Tony Dangerous laid out center ring, a driving knee into the chest of the lightning fast one. Unloading with hard right hands, Gary Galaxy delivers a wicked strength kick to the back to the lightning fast one. Galaxy with a series of shots as Tony Dangerous reeling, gets a hold of him, and beautiful slam right center ring. Galaxy gathers him up again. Whip to the far corner. A series of kicks, and down goes Tony. Tony quickly counters, turns the tables on Galaxy, has him in the corner instead. Hard whip to the opposing corner, and another beautiful drop kick that sends Gary Galaxy sprawling out center ring. Tony winds up the arm, but no, Gary quickly with the counter, a shot to the midsection. A whip over the top rope, out onto the floor at the feet of his manager, Sylvia Strong. Tony Dangerous in big trouble on the outside. Gary Galaxy goes flying. Oh, another knee, 10 feet up and 10 feet down across the chest. Another series of wrist clutch stomps to the chest of Tony Dangerous. Gary Galaxy determined to maintain control of the RWL Cruiserweight Championship, and by God, it looks like he's going to do it. Galaxy with a series of shots to Tony Dangerous, takes him down to one knee. Does it again, a spinning back fist that bounces Dangerous off the apron. Gary Galaxy absolutely unloading on Tony Dangerous. Tony counters with a chop. Gets Galaxy back inside the ring. Follows him on in himself. A running clothesline from Galaxy. A second. And ho, the phone here. A leg sweep that takes Tony Dangerous down to the mat once more. Galaxy rolls him over, covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3, and well now, Gary Galaxy retaining the Cruiserweight Championship by pinfall. Let's get the official time.
The time of the fall, 6 minutes and 39 seconds. Your winner, and still our WL Cruiserweight Champion, Gary Galaxy.
I think you're right, Don.
How's that?
That three-way match Saturday night was no day at the races for Tony, even if he did win. Gary may have taken that loss as a big-time red flag, and the reality of maybe losing the Cruiserweight title to Tony Dangerous may have lit a fire under his seat, and baby, did he jump up and into action. I can't ever remember seeing the lightning fast one spiral out of control in any match, as he did tonight.
And fans will be back with more Hotter Than July right after this.
The ongoing war between the Sectarians and RWL has yet another skirmish tonight in a six-man tag between Papa Shango, the Boogeyman, and Kez Manson, facing Money Incorporated V2, joined by Tex Lynch himself.
I sure hope Tex is gonna be okay.
Same here, Myron.
The following is a six-man tag team match, one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first at a combined weight of 740 pounds, Papa Shango, the Boogeyman, and Kez Manson representing the Sectarians.
Like man, but if I were, I'd put everything on Money Incorporated tonight. Not just because I hate these sectarian ass hats, but because JBL and the $1 Million Man will have Tex in there with them.
Likewise, Johnny, but I'm still a little worried about Tex. Last time he was in a tag match with Mr. Hercules against Shango and Boogeyman, he got temporarily blinded by Papa Shango's green voodoo mist, losing use of his sight for a few days. I'm sure that's still weighing heavily on his mind, but he's been training like a fiend ever since this match was signed, and he looked to be in great shape. If only he, JBL, and DiBiase can avoid any sectarian tricks, I think this one is gonna be bad. Bad night for Kez Manson and company.
He is hoping. For everyone's sake, he is hoping. And as reviled as the sectarians are, they certainly do still cut an intimidating figure.
Their opponents at a combined weight of 795 pounds, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, John Brad Solayfield, and Hangman Tex Lynch. Together they are Money Incorporated V2.
I don't get to spend as much time around Tex Lynch as you two, but I think he's pretty badass. He's damn sure not afraid to get his hands dirty, even after having semi-retired a few years ago to be snarled GM. And oh, Lord Hammerstein, would you just look at him? He's looking as buff as he did in his Masks Incorporated days with T-Dog Tenacio. Plus, he's got the $1 Million Man and wrestling god JBL backing him up. That's a 3-man squad I certainly wouldn't want to tangle with. I hope they trash these sectarian clown shoes in this one.
Tex Lynch abandoning his Godzilla t-shirt in favor of his favorite 10-gallon hat for this particular event. And oh my, what a squad they have. 6 men, 1 squad to a finish. Kez Manson and the $1 Million Man starting things off here. As referee Charles Lacera sounds the bell, they come center ring. Kez Manson opens up with a couple of kicks to the $1 Million Man, follows it up with a DDT. Slamming DiBiase to the canvas. Kez, look at this, stepping in the face of the $1 Million Man. Manson rounds up DiBiase. DiBiase shoves him back. Gets a hold of Kez. But Kez, whoa, with a quick counter, goes behind. DiBiase counters him with a butt bump. Shoves Manson back again, and a beautiful jumping neckbreaker. A spinning neckbreaker at that. Manson rounded up another spinning neckbreaker from the $1 Million Man as he steps out, and here comes our boy Hangman Tex Lynch. Manson misses with his move, so does Tex. Tex nails him with a right, a double throat chop, a couple of rights, and a headbutt. From the snarled general manager, the Toxic Texan, Hangman Tex Lynch takes himself all the way up to the top, decides against the high-risk maneuver, goes after Papa Shango, but gets countered. Manson goes behind on Tex, but catches another butt bump from Hangman Tex. Tex shoves him back. Kez Manson connects with a kick right to the head of Hangman Tex Lynch, rebounds off the middle rope, a crossbody that doesn't fully find the mark, but certainly does. Kez shoved back again. Tex counters with the clothesline, but Kez Manson just a little too quick. Whoa! Did you see the elevation on that one? Hangman Tex Lynch covers one, but Papa Shango right there to break it up. DiBiase shows him the outside. Tex Lynch absolutely lit up, and somehow, some way, we lost our referee in the process here. Tex Lynch rallying the crowd here in Phoenix. Manson catches a clubbing right to the head as the referee regains consciousness here. Tex Lynch with a suplex, a vertical suplex on Kez Manson. Tex moves in, drives a knee into the side of the head of the guru. Kez Manson opens up with a series of lefts right to the face of Kez, and a disrespectful slap for good measure. Tex Lynch certainly remembers being blinded by Papa Shango in a tag team match on Rage months ago. Papa Shango working on JBL on the outside, and on the inside, Tex Lynch beating the tar out of Kez Manson in his team's corner, beating his feet on the Mississippi mud, as he likes to say. Whoa, he slipped him the finger right there. Tex covers one, but Boogeyman breaking up the pin here. Kez Manson reaching for the rope. Boogeyman whipped to the outside by Tex. Tex moves in after Papa Shango, hangs him up off the top rope, and down he goes. JBL's laid out. Boogeyman's laid out. Kez Manson prevaricating on the outside. He rolls back inside. And whoa! What a Hurricane Rana right there. from the guru of the Sectarians, an elbow from Tex Lynch. Kaz counters with a hard right. Tex counters with a kick to the midsection. A forearm that stuns Kaz Manson as Tex rebounds off the ropes, and a hard left hand right to the side of the head. Tex covers 1, 2, 3, and just like that, this one is all over. How about that?
Time of the fall, 3 minutes, 30 seconds, and your winners, Ted DiBiase, JBL, and Tex Lynch, Money Incorporated V2.
Just unbelievable. Tex was practically a one-man army in this one, with a very able assist from JBL and Ted DiBiase. Tex Lynch strategically targeting Kaz Manson, the one guy out of the Sectarians he hates the most, allowing JBL and DiBiase to deal with the remaining Sectarians, and scoring the 1-3 on Manson for an unbelievable 3.5-minute finish to this 6-man tag.
And the drinks tonight will be on Johnny Bianco. We'll be back with more Hotter Than July right after the break.
American Powers wouldn't be where they are today if they weren't worth something. But there is just one big problem, and that would be Liberty Bell Big Mouth. You make lots of noise online, but you don't win matches with your mouth, and being a disrespectful little cow. Let's not pretend it isn't true, because the front office don't pull people in for nothing. Seems the only time Danielle Heathcote is quiet is when she's on the injured list. And since I'm desperately seeking silence, looks like me, and the distraction, Shotzi Blackheart are gonna have to make it quiet. Now, if Patty Powers wants to get in the way of that too, then she can join her partner on the bench for a few weeks. So, the only thing getting lit up tonight is American Powers.
All right, fans. Up next, a ladies tag team rematch of some note with the Women's World Tag Team Championships up for grabs as AJ Lee and Shotzi Blackheart challenge Patty Powers and Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote, American Powers.
I tell you what, Don, AJ Lee and Shotzi not winning any hearts and minds here, especially with those remarks AJ Lee made at Snarl, kind of ruining the arrival of MJ Ferrantino as their manager, which created a lot of tension, and well, this match is going to be hotly contested.
While American Power certainly has a multitude of fans, AJ Lee and Shotzi Blackheart are certainly not among them.
And they're gonna do whatever they feel necessary to snag the Women's World Tag Team titles.
Easier said than done, Wally.
Things got so crazy between these two teams that American Powers had momentarily set aside other disputes with the future endeavored and the Sectarians, focusing their attention solely on these two #1 contenders for the belts.
Now American Powers have been at the top of the ladies' tag division for quite a while now, only dropping the titles to the Angels of Anarchy for a few weeks this past spring. So, while the possibility of an upset can't be ignored. And despite a fan split in the crowd tonight, with some favoring the challengers, you've got to presume the champion's advantage here. The upset is possible, but to me, highly unlikely.
I'm feeling the same way about it, Christy. We gotta go with the champs on this one.
While the challengers may have some degree of fan support, I would imagine that most fans are favoring American Powers.
This next match, one fall with a 20-minute time limit, is for the RWL Women's World Tag Team Championships. Introducing first the challengers, AJ Lee and Shotzi Blackheart, and their opponents, the RWL Women's World Tag Team Champions, Powerhouse Patty Powers and All-American Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote, American Powers.
You heard those chants for Shotzi Blackheart. Proof positive that they're out there.
I'm sure whatever fan support they may have is probably meager compared to AP. All right, Shotzi Blackheart and Patty Powers starting things off here. The bell sounds. Shotzi opens up with a series of shots on Patty Powers. A one-arm suplex from Shotzi, who steps out and tags in AJ Lee. Patty Powers, standing center ring, moves in, catch. Ooh. AJ Lee misses with both of those shots. Patty Powers rounds her up, has her over the shoulder. Where's she gonna put her down? Slam, right center ring. AJ Lee back up on her feet and misses with that move. Patty tags her with a right from behind. Has her all the way up. Electric chair drop from Patty Powers. Followed up with a big splash and a cover. 1, 2, but nope. AJ Lee powering out of the pin. Quick pins seldom work. A slam to the canvas from AJ Lee. AJ takes her down to the canvas with a helicopter spin. AJ Lee with a slap to the head of Patty Powers. Followed up with a stomp to the shoulder. AJ Lee, certainly no fan of American Powers. As she steps out, here comes Shotzi Blackheart. Patty Powers just back up on her feet. Shotzi catches a couple of lefts from Patty. A quick counter, but not quick enough. Shotzi whipped over the top rope onto the apron. Patty Powers quickly countered by Shotzi Blackheart. Makes her way back inside. Goes behind on Patty. Rear waistlock. Has both hook. Whoa! Underhook suplex from Shotzi. And now Shotzi Blackheart with a possible submission here, stretching both the arms of Patty Powers. Patty Powers finds her way out, turns it around on Shotzi. They lock up again. Elbows to the midsection from Patty. Powerhouse Patty locks up Shotzi. Has her up. Takes a couple of steps. Whoa! There's a backbreaker. Oh, a torturous backbreaker from Patty Powers. As Patty steps out, and here comes Liberty Bell Danielle. Danielle Heathcote. Tentative here, grabs a hold of Shotzi Blackheart. Has her up, delivers another backbreaker. Another case of teamwork making the dream work here. Shotzi quickly counters, gets Danielle down on the canvas, follows it up with a stomp to the arm, turns her around, hard kick to the back. Danielle counters. Danielle Heathcote with an armbar on Shotzi. Danielle measures it. There's the elbow right across the top of the head. And Shotzi Blackheart into another armbar as Danielle begins to wear down Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi counters. AJ Lee trying to make the save, but no need. Shotzi Blackheart escapes the hold. Danielle gets a hold of AJ Lee, catches a right from Shotzi. Shotzi rounds her up over the shoulders as AJ Lee escapes. Danielle Heathcote with elbows to the head of Shotzi Blackheart. A double shot to the midsection. Misses with the slap across the chest. Hard whip to the rope, over the top rope, out onto the floor goes Shotzi Blackheart. AJ Lee watching as Patty Powers and Danielle Heathcote start to go to work here. Danielle all the way up from the top. Oh, catches a hard shot to the midsection from Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi catches a suplex from Danielle on the outside. The referee already counting. There's a stomp from Danielle. Danielle rounds up Shotzi and pitches her towards the announce table. Danielle makes her way back into the ring. Referee Walt Rothburn still counting Shotzi Blackheart on the outside. Look at this. Both Patty and Danielle. Oh, a stomp from Danielle Heathcote. Winds her up. Oh, look at this. Winds up both arms. Throws the switch. And that means serious pain. Danielle Heathcote rounds Shotzi up. Drives her into the announce table. Shotzi Blackheart returns the favor. And now Shotzi drives her into the ring steps. Shotzi makes her way back inside the ring. The referee still counting Danielle here. Whoa! A quick move towards Danielle from Shotzi Blackheart. Gathers her up. Danielle counters with an elbow. Kick to the midsection from Shotzi and a spinning punch to Danielle right in the face. Shotzi with a DDT on Danielle Heathcote. making her way back up to a standing position. Shotzi already there. Gathers her up. Whoa! A nasty arm breaker. Parlayed into an armbar by Shotzi Blackheart. Danielle Heathcote laid out as AJ Lee comes in and makes a tag. AJ Lee counters with a right. Danielle counters with a right. Danielle gets a hold of AJ Lee. Whoa! What a suplex from Danielle Heathcote. Danielle with a right. A hard whip to the ropes for AJ Lee and another ride to the outside for AJ Lee. Danielle follows her out. Goes to work with an armbar on the outside as the referee starts counting. Drives a knee into the head of AJ Lee. Followed up with another one. Liberty Bell, Danielle Heathcote certainly not appreciating the remarks of AJ Lee. And now another armbar on the outside as the referee continues to count. Shotzi Blackheart comes to the aid of her partner. Danielle Heathcote gets a hold of Shotzi, drives a knee into her back. AJ Lee sneaks up from behind, drives her head first into the ring post. Oh, man. AJ Lee on her own. Shotzi still laid out as AJ makes her way back inside the ring. Danielle finally snapping out of it. Danielle Heathcote trying to rally the troops here in Phoenix. Goes to work on Shotzi Blackheart, laid out on the outside. AJ Lee also trying to rally the fans here. The chance to become Women's World Tag Team Champions. Clearly at the forefront of the minds of AJ Lee and Shotzi. Shotzi Blackheart makes her way back to her corner. Danielle driven into the barricade by AJ Lee, followed up with a couple of stomps. Another stomp to the shoulder. AJ Lee going to work on the arms of Liberty Bell Danielle as the referee continues to count. And look at this. AJ Lee just torturing Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote. AJ makes her way back inside the ring as Danielle finally snaps out of it. Danielle makes her way back inside. AJ Lee right there to greet her. Rounds her up, but Danielle counters with elbows to the midsection. Backing off AJ Lee. Danielle, whoa, quickly countered. A beautiful counter from AJ Lee. Danielle trying to stop the tag, but it's no use. Here comes Shotzi Blackheart. Look at this, a standing dropkick from Danielle on Shotzi. And Patty Powers is brought in on the tag. Shotzi Blackheart locks up. A kick to the midsection to Patty. Powerhouse Patty drives a knee into the midsection of Shotzi. Shotzi rounded up by Patty Powers again over the shoulder. And she's, slammed right down by Patty Powers. Patty rounds her up. Oh, look at this. She's got Shotzi up for a fly swatter. And now going to work on the legs of Shotzi Blackheart with a heel hook stretch. Shotzi Blackheart in some considerable pain right about now. Hauled halfway across the ring by her ankle as Danielle Heathcote is tagged in again. Shotzi Blackheart favoring that knee. Shoves Danielle Heathcote down to the canvas. Gets back up on her feet, drives a knee into Danielle. Danielle counters with elbows to the midsection. Shotzi Blackheart doubled over here. And look at this. A cravat suplex from Liberty Bell Danielle. Shotzi looking for a tag, but no good. Danielle right there to spoil that plan. Shotzi countering with elbows to Danielle. Shotzi drives another knee into Danielle Heathcote. A kick that drives her into the far corner. Danielle counters, finds her way out of that corner. Shotzi locks her up. And she is setting it up for the DDT. Head first into the canvas goes Liberty Bell Danielle. Shotzi Blackheart back up on her feet. Rounds Danielle up to a standing position. Locks her up again, escorts her to her team's corner. Head first into the turnbuckle goes Danielle. As Shotzi takes a little leap off the top rope, and whoa, what a Hurricane Rana from Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi gathers Danielle up again. Escorts her towards her team's corner one more time. Again, head first into the turnbuckle she goes. And Shotzi drives her head into the buckle a second time. Danielle counters with an elbow. A double shot to the midsection of Shotzi Blackheart. Danielle Heathcote catching elbows from Shotzi. This match hotly contested again. The Women's World Tag Team Championships on the line in this one. Look at this. A pendulum DDT. Driving Danielle face first into the canvas. Shotzi gathers Danielle up again. Takes her to the corner one more time. Smashed into the turnbuckle. And how much of that can Danielle Heathcote stand? Look at this. A Dudley Dog. We don't see that too often. And here's a pin. 1, 2. But Patty Powers saving the match for her team. Shotzi makes her pay. Whips her out to the floor. Danielle Heathcote still on the wrong side of town and still laid out as Shotzi Blackheart gathers her up again. Misses with the kick somehow, some way. Danielle counters with a kick to the midsection. They lock up. Whoa! A knee right into the head of Liberty Bell. Danielle followed up with a soccer kick to the midsection. Shotzi rounds her up. Danielle countering with elbows. Doesn't want to go back into the opposing team's corner again. Fails to get the double shot as Shotzi counters and a snap suplex with a pin. Oh, too close to the ropes. Referee says he's going to have to start all over again. Shotzi drives her back into the opposing team's corner. Fails to connect with the discus punch as Danielle quickly escapes. Danielle sets it up again. Another double underhook suplex from Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote as she makes her way out. And here comes Powerhouse Patty Powers again. And here comes AJ Lee as both partners have tagged out. Patty spins her around with a hard right. AJ Lee counters with an elbow. Gets a hold of Patty Powers. Has her up, draws a knee into the back of Powerhouse Patty. AJ Lee with a stomp to the arm. Patty Powers counters with a jawbreaker. Connects with a hard right. Another. Gets a hold of AJ Lee. Whips her towards the far corner. And now Patty setting up AJ Lee in the Tree of Woe. Oh man. A big time kick to the chest. And now a foot right to the throat of AJ Lee. Patty Powers steps out. Here comes Liberty Bell Danielle again. Danielle moves in on AJ Lee. Gathers her up to a standing position. Gets a hold of her. And there's the disarmer. A possible submission here. The ref checking things out. But, oh, that's it. AJ Lee is tapping out. American Powers retaining the Women's World Tag Team Championships by submission.
The time was 12 minutes, 23 seconds. Your winners, and still Women's World Tag Team Champions, American Powers.
A pretty close call for American Powers tonight, but Patty and Danielle seemed a little more dialed in on this matchup, and while it ran long and got kinda intense, like we expected, American Powers is leaving Phoenix tonight. Still Women's World Tag Champions, as the Sweet Revenge Summer Tour gets ready for the next stop in Canada.
Frankly, Shotzi and AJ Lee weren't as focused tonight as they have been in their previous encounters with AP. Whether it was nerves or just plain old bad luck, they just did not have it like before, allowing AP to retain the titles by way of a tap out over AJ Lee, and so, whatever or whoever might be next, they will still be up against the reigning Women's World Tag Champs. A pretty wild match to conclude the second hour of tonight's Supercard.
And we'll be back with the third hour in just a moment.